Good morning, YouTubers. Day one of a week in the life of a 53-year-old trying to put on muscle. So I'm going to walk you through every single detail of what happens during the course of the day. You saw the scale. I weigh myself every single morning. Because I'm in a bulking period during my my programming, I don't track every calorie in an app like MyPlate or MyFitnessPal because I need to add weight to support the exercise and the muscle building process. So I'm not in a calorie deficit trying to lose weight. If I were, which will occur in March, then I will trim down that weight again. Then I will track all of my calories because you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, period. I need to be in a calorie surplus until about March. So I'm just watching the scale and making sure I'm not getting too fat and too heavy. I know what I eat. I eat almost the same thing every single day. So I know how much calories I'm putting in my body, which is about 2,300. Most important for me is to make sure I get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day, without exception. Before we get into all that, it's first thing in the morning. Hydration, because we've been sleeping, duh. Lemon water, big old glass of lemon water. Gonna have some coffee. Bee pollen. I add my bee pollen to the lemon water. Great anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. And then quercetin, which I take during, I would say, October through April. Again, just stacking the deck in my favor. If you're sick, then you're probably not working out. So I don't like to be sick. I'm a big baby. So those are the first 2 things I'm taking. And there's a bunch more vitamins coming, but that comes after the first meal of the day. Everything has a purpose within the plan, all right? We'll check back in after coffee and the first meal. All right, coffee down. Breakfast, remember the goal is, because I've got to get 170 grams of protein in during the course of the day, you have to capitalize on every meal to be a high protein meal. So 2 eggs, 7 grams of protein each, plus some bread that has good protein, 5 grams per slice, about 24, 25 grams of protein with this meal. So I'm not terribly concerned about calories, again, because I'm not in a cut. I'm not in a deficit. I'm just watching the scale weight every morning. So most important is protein. Don't care about calories and macros right now. After the meal, because I think even though many of these vitamins are water soluble, it is best to take them with some fat in your stomach. So liposomal vitamin C. So natural testosterone booster because I am slightly low. That's not a surprise at age 53. Vitamin D. Joint supplement, regular multivitamin, probiotic, and fish oil. And I will repeat that after, sometime late afternoon after my workout. I'll actually do this again. So kind of doubling up on those supplements. And then in the afternoon, after the workout, in terms of stress relief on the body, I'm adding back in B vitamins. So we're gonna eat this down. We're gonna take our vitamins and then go work out. We'll check back in. All right, breakfast down. Got protein in the system. We got complex carbohydrates in the system to fuel the workout. Pre-workout drink is L-citrulline and beet extract, beet crystals. These 2 things, along with, I'm not using it today, but a good cinnamon, quality cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, not the standard McCormick's brand, but those 3 things help reduce blood pressure and relax the blood vessels, capillaries, to improve on blood flow to the muscles. And I will say, even if I wasn't working out, I think these things actually are gonna eventually be recognized as awesome overall health supplementation. When you think about blood flow, not just to the muscles, but to the brain as well, you think about major diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. I think eventually the health industry is gonna be pushing these types of things, if you will, for major disease prevention. We're doing it as a pre-workout drink because of the health benefits, again, stacking the deck in your favor for muscle building, improving the blood flow to the muscles, which will help with the muscle building process and the recovery process. So you're not as sore the next day, you can work out the next day. Caffeine is also, it's a fine supplement in terms of pre-workout to give you that energy through the workout day or whatever. But one downside of protein is it constricts blood vessels and blood flow, increases blood pressure. So I tend to stay away from caffeine as a pre-workout drink, okay? I want the blood flow, the best blood flow I can get through supplements like this that don't have a caffeine stimulant. All right, we're off to the gym. All right, now we're finally in the gym. So let's talk about what the plan is, because there is a plan. And let's talk about progressive overload. So before we get to the exercises and what exercises we're doing, the term or the phrase progressive overload is extremely important. It is the foundation for building muscle. Progressive overload, especially for anyone that's trying to build muscle, that is the core concept. But if you're 53 years old, you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s and trying to build muscle, you absolutely have to dot the I's, cross the T's, and use progressive overload techniques. So what the hell is progressive overload? Three important things. Progressive overload in the course of a week, and of course you're stacking weeks on top of weeks, but in the course of a week, what we're trying to do is increase our volume in terms of the number of sets that we do. So for example, if I'm doing a shoulder set and I'm doing 12 or 15 sets of shoulders throughout the week, I want to add a set or two as the week goes on. So that's increasing your volume. And then second of all is increasing the weight on the bar or the dumbbell, whatever the case may be. But every week you're striving to add more weight to the bar. You're forcing the body, kicking and screaming, you're dragging it along with you and forcing it to adapt. And then intensity. As the weeks build, and I work within a 5-week block, as the weeks build, I'm ratcheting up the intensity by doing things like drop sets or force reps, things like that. So progressive overload, I drew a very corny picture, but it kind of does help you understand what progressive overload is. So progressive overload busts. Yes, I know it's corny. Increasing your volume, you're constantly striving to increase your volume, your bar weight, and your intensity. And volume typically is measured in the number of sets throughout the week. So if you start with 12 sets and you can get one more throughout the week, that's increasing your volume. Bar weight's pretty self-explanatory, intensity, which I just described. These other four concepts are not progressive overload per se, but if you're not consistent in the gym every week, and your nutrition is poor, and you're not allowing enough time for recovery, then you're not gonna build much muscle. So consistency, you know, if you have 3 days you can work out in the gym, and you do 3 days one week, and you don't do any the next week, or you do one, then you're not very consistent. You're gonna have a hard time building muscle. And then last concept is specificity. Specificity is basically picking exercises that improve
the areas of your body that you want to improve on. So, for example, for me, my chest and my back are pretty much my strengths. My legs and my arms are kind of an area that I like to focus on. So for me, specificity means quads, hamstrings, tris, and bicep, and some shoulder work. So I prioritize those things because if you take an honest look in the mirror, that's what I needed to improve on. I think everybody would have something different. So what is the plan? I know we'll eventually get to the exercises. So day one, this is my board, but day one is 4 different exercises. We're gonna start with a flat bench, and then we're gonna do a narrow grip bench press to prioritize triceps, a push down, tricep push down, and tricep overhead extension. So this is day one. Tomorrow is a different set of exercises, which we'll get to at some point here. All right, so let's get on to the exercises. I'm gonna set up the bench, do a warm up, and then we're gonna get into the bench press. All right, talk to you soon. All right, here we go. We're warmed up. We're gonna do a flat bench, 3 sets. Last week I had 205 on the bar, so I'm starting with 205 this week in hopes of getting to 210. So I'm looking for 5 to 6 reps, keeping it very heavy on this core exercise, and then we'll increase the reps on the next few exercises. So here we go. All right, I'm not gonna show everyone because that would be boring, but we're gonna do 3 sets of this and then move on to the next exercise. All right, 3 sets are down on the flat bench, and I was able to get to 210. So that's progressive overload. My form is a little sloppy on the last set, a little too much bounce off the chest, but I'm gonna count it. It's the greatest way to send that signal to the body that 205 is no longer good enough. So you're kind of, again, dragging and screaming, pulling the body along basically with the exercise. So now we're gonna do a flat bench again, but we're moving the hands in. Everybody's grip can be different here, but we're gonna create a narrow grip, forcing the triceps to become the prioritized muscle in that exercise. So from a standard grip, bringing it into something that's comfortable. Everybody's got a different grip, but we're also stripping weight off the bar because you can't do 210 with a narrow grip. So I'm down to 155 now. Narrow grip bench press. All right, increasing the reps here. We want to be 10 to 12-ish. It's not really safe to do less than 5 in a narrow grip format. So we're not concerned about that. So increasing the rep count for this exercise to 10 to 12. 4 sets, because tricep is a prioritized muscle group. Check in with you on the tricep pushdown. All right, I've completed the narrow grip bench press. In fact, I was able to add 5 more pounds to the bar. So it went from 155 where I started today to 160 and got my 12 reps in. So it's a little unusual to be able to, first 2 exercises, to progressively overload in terms of weight on the bar. So I'm really happy about that. Feeling pretty strong today. That doesn't happen every week. Sometimes it can take multiple weeks to add just 5 pounds to the bar or the dumbbell, whatever you're working with. So feeling fortunate today. So now we're going to go on to the tricep push down, the third of the 4 exercises today. 4 sets. We're going to implement drop sets. So in terms of progressive overload, we're implementing the intensity factor now by doing drop sets. So I'm starting, my notes say starting with 45 pounds on the push down. We're going to go to failure, and then we're going to strip weight off, go to failure again, strip weight off, and then go to failure. We're going to do that on each of the 4 sets. So sending that clear signal to the tricep muscle that it needs to grow. Okay, so there's no better way to tell the tricep or any muscle that it needs to grow because you're going to failure each time. So here we go. Tricep push down. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm using a cable machine, but there's many varieties, many good varieties to do. So here we go, 12 reps to failure, and then virtually no rest in between the drop sets. One more. So that's a drop set. So now is probably a good time to talk about muscle building and in the gym. I've said it before. The reason why I love this type of exercise, hypertrophy, muscle building, bodybuilding, is because you are the art and the artist. And let's call it what it is. When you're in the gym, you're doing it for yourself. You're being selfish in a good way. No one's in here helping you. So you're fighting through it. You're making progress. There's no harm in taking pictures of your physique or posing in front of the camera. Your friends will make fun of you. But there's no harm when you're in the gym. Get in front of the mirror, look at the progress, take pictures, look at the progress, because it's a great way to keep your motivation up, great way to keep your spirits up when you can see progress. And that's why we're in the gym. All right, going on to the 4th exercise, we're gonna do a tricep extension. I'll set it up and we'll go from there. So if you think about it, 4 exercises today: flat bench done, narrow grip bench press done. I'm going to do one more set of the push down, all different angles. So narrow grip, push down, and then we're going to go overhead extension and switch the angle up on the tricep again to make sure we're being thorough and hitting all heads of the tricep. All right, be back in a minute. All right, here we go. Last exercise, tricep extensions. Taking it to failure or very close to failure. 12 reps. So there we go. 4 exercises today. In and out of the gym in about an hour, a little longer. I've been talking. Let's see. 4, 8, 12, 15 total sets. Now, we're gonna close up in here and back to the kitchen to talk about post-workout supplementation. Actually, before I do, I wanted to make mention also that what this overall plan is. You saw on a scale this morning, I was at 171, something like that. Basically, this is kind of what I'm looking at here. You can see my entire year is already mapped out. I think the camera's straight now. The entire year's already mapped out. September 1 through February 28th, I'm in the gym to put on muscle, which means I need the additional calories. So prior to September 1, late August, I was at 160, 162. And I'm already up almost 10 pounds, and that's on purpose. So yes, some of it's fat, some of it's muscle, but this is the range I want to be in, 170, 175, because that's what's required to build muscle. You can't be in a deficit, calorie deficit, and expect to put on muscle unless you're a newbie or you have the weight and the fat to get rid of. Your body will use that for muscle building, but those are a couple exceptions. So, and you can see March 1, then I start to cut the calories back down to anywhere between 153 and 162 is where I look best for summer, with or without creatine. So, and then the summertime is maintenance. So I cut back on the activities in the gym, try to enjoy the summer a little bit more, but just maintain a good calorie input. All right, we're about done in here. Let's go to the gym and talk about post-workout supplementation. Talk to you in a few. All right, we're back into the kitchen. Obviously, post-workout now is the perfect time to feed the muscles. We need another dose of protein, right? So whey protein post-workout is probably the most common or popular form of protein because it's easily and quickly digestible. But if you have protein coursing through your body throughout the day, then timing isn't really that important. So whey protein's fine. I'm using a plant-based protein that my wife is able to get for me. Also has a lot of good microbiome, probiotic stuff in it as well, so can't go wrong with that. So I'm gonna go with about 34 grams of protein into my shake. And instead of using milk or whole milk, I'm gonna go with almond milk. A lot of good varieties out there. Unsweetened almond milk, which has only about 30 calories per cup. Now contrast that with whole milk, for example. Whole milk, 160, 170 grams of protein, 160, 170 calories per cup. If you go with an almond milk and then just add back in the sweetener, like I'm gonna add back in some natural sweetener. I'm using monk fruit. It's my favorite. I like the taste of it. So about 34 grams of protein going into my shake. And then I'm gonna take all the same vitamins I showed you this morning. I'm gonna take them all again. Why? So when you're in the gym and you're working out with that level of intensity, you're putting the body through a lot of stress. The potential of tanking your immune system or compromising your immune system is there. So we want to add back in as many of the vitamins and minerals to the body post-workout to support your immune system. In addition to the vitamins I showed you this morning, I'm also going to take a vitamin B complex to help the body deal with stress. Again, vitamins aren't, some people obviously don't like vitamins or don't believe in vitamins, and I understand that. So we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's here. We're not taking anything for granted. So, all right, protein shake, about 34 grams of protein. And then I'm gonna have some lunch. It's Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm gonna watch some football. I'm gonna let the protein shake digest for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna have a tuna sandwich. I'm not gonna bore you by showing you my tuna sandwich, but 25 grams of protein here. And then 2 slices of bread, another 10 grams of protein there. So by the time lunch is over, 1 or 2 o'clock today, I'm at about 100 grams of protein for the day, and I need to be at about 170 grams of protein by the time I go to sleep tonight. Anything less than that, then we're compromising our ability to build muscle. So keeping calories in check. I know I keep saying that, but there's no sense in using a high-fat product like a whole milk in this case, because I need to be around 2,300 calories to keep my weight at about 170, 171, and even getting a little bit heavier. So yes, I'm putting on a little bit of fat, but I'm giving the body the calories and the protein it needs to build muscle. I'm stacking the deck in my favor. I'm gonna add creatine to the post-workout shake as well. We'll talk more about creatine maybe later on. So I think that's it. We'll check back in at the next meal. All right, afternoon meal. I'm just gonna go with yogurt and some blueberries. So about a cup and a half, about 25 grams of proteins. Now I'm up to about 125 total grams on protein. A couple other alternatives to put on top of the yogurt: sugar, zero sugar Hershey's, obviously lower in calories. Chicory root is an alternative to honey, much less calories as well compared to honey. So afternoon's about 3:30. This will be the last meal before dinner. Talk to you soon. All right, we're now at supper time. I'm gonna have some baked tilapia, a little bit of red potatoes, and some cherry tomatoes for dinner. So about another 30 grams of protein. So bringing my total up to about 130. So I got 40 more grams of protein to stuff in before I go to bed tonight. So that last meal will be important, and the type of protein is also very important, and we'll cover that in the next segment. So calorie deficit, and if you're trying to lose weight, you've been hearing me talk about I'm actually trying to increase my weight, but for most people, you're probably trying to lose weight. There's an easy formula to start with. It'll get you started. If you take your current body weight times the number 13, that will give you a calorie limit, which will put you in a calorie deficit for the day. So, and that will automatically, for most people, equate to about a pound to a pound and a half of weight loss per week, which is a terrific, safe rate for losing weight. Just stay under that number. And again, you have to use a calorie tracker like MyPlate or MyFitnessPal. Don't try to guess. Most people get it wrong. But if you want to lose weight, and it's going to be strange to hear from a personal trainer, but exercise is really not the answer. It can be part of the answer, but truly if your main goal is to lose weight, it's in the kitchen, and it's managing your calories. There's no way around it. The laws of thermodynamics are laws. They're not theories. You have to be in a calorie deficit. So body weight times 13, should equal about a pound, pound and a half of weight loss. So here's my meal for the night. I'm gonna get that down with a nice diet soda. Again, don't be afraid of diet sodas. They're just another tool to help you lose weight. All right, we'll talk at the final meal around 9 p.m. Talk to you later. All right, final meal of the day for day one. So 9 p.m.-ish. So the most popular type of protein to use when you're going to have long periods between meals. So obviously when you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours, hopefully, casein is probably the most popular type of protein to use at night or when you're going to have long periods between meals. Why is that? Well, it's a slow digestion protein, the opposite of the whey protein that we talked about post-workout. So post-workout, we want that protein quickly digested and into the muscles. Casein protein, we want it to be a slow digestion so that you get that trickling effect throughout the night while you're sleeping and your body is recovering and rebuilding the muscles. So I'm going to do a protein shake, and you guessed it, almond milk. I'm going to add back in the sweetener by using some monk fruit sweetener to the shake, and that will be it for day one. So we'll talk to you on day two.